Hi again folks, how's all doing? This is an old Hornby Class 2P that was sent to me by a chap called Simon. This actually belongs to his son Nathan though. Simon tells me that this is a bit of a case of the old stoppy-startyitis and only appears to be picking up from one set of wheels. So it sounds like a pickup issue obviously. Let's see what it does under power. Yeah. Ooh, got a wheel lock-up as well. Yeah, not so good. So it definitely looks like there's something up with the pickups. Let's get to the bench and see what's what. Righty-ho then, let's get a look at this old 2P. I used to have one of these. I broke it up for scrap because one of these little panels here was missing and it was never that great a runner. And I too had problems with the pickups on it because the plate was broken and it was all a bit melted and mangled. So I ended up just scrapping it. Yeah, let's get a look at the pickups on this. Oh yeah, there's a broken one there. Let's just get the pointy thing. Yeah, that pickup there is broken right off, and that was probably what was causing the wheels jamming, as the pickup is actually poking through the spokes of the wheel. The others are okay, but that one's broken, so it's not making good contact. In fact, it's not making any contact on this side, and it's interfering with the movement of the wheel. The screw for the front bogie was stripped. I fixed it just so I could test run it with a bit of super glue and baking soda. Other than that, I think if we can sort the pickups, this will probably be okay. It's got the old Airfix motor in it, which, well, not the quietest motor in the world, has hell of a torque. With 4 traction tyres, this thing will pull anything. Okay, let's get it to bits and get a proper look at the pickup. I've got a funny feeling, from what I remember from my old one, is the pickups are riveted onto the chassis bottom. It's not like an underplate, it's the entire bottom of the chassis is it's all one thing with the pickups. So we might have to replace that entire part, depending on the state of it. What am I doing here? Hang on, getting that undone. I've just noticed actually there's wires on the top here. Simon did say it had a capacitor fitted. Now I assumed he was just meaning a suppressor, which most models are fitted with some kind of suppressor, but no, I think someone's fitted one of those DC stay alives, which I'm sure I've got one actually kicking about somewhere. Yeah, there it is. One of these things. I bought one to try, and I tried one on some of my diesels. Didn't make a blind bit of difference, which doesn't surprise me. The idea of a stay alive on a DC locomotive, given that the current is variable and dual polarity, you're going to need a non-polarized capacitor of significant size. I think for it to have any chance of actually working properly, you probably need a capacitor bit that size, a big huge thing, or a big array of them or something. I don't know, I'm no electronics expert, but yeah, I was very, very skeptical about that making any difference whatsoever. And I tried it, nah, doesn't work. So if that's what's in here, I'm just going to take it out. I'll speak to Simon and tell him, look, just take the thing out, because all it's doing is just interfering with things. And actually it's been put in underneath the top of the tender there, so the tender body isn't closing properly. So yeah, we'll get rid of it. Right, okay. Let's see, where's my tweezers? Yeah, there it is. Completely useless. So we'll get rid of that. Just noticed that the wheels are on upside down as well, so there's been a bit of jiggery faffery going on with this. Let's undo that. That'll then lift that off. Releases the wheels, which should be on that way around. Might as well put them on correctly. And there is the broken pickup there, and that one. That one's okay, and that one's okay. They're all okay, apart from that one. Snapped off there. So you can see what I was talking about. This is just the bottom part of the chassis. It's all one part. And that pickup is riveted on. I mean, I'm sure I could go and dig in my boxes. I'm sure I've got one of these, but I know for a fact it's pretty mangled. So I wouldn't want to fit it, which is a bit of a shame. So I'll need to go online and see if I can get one of these. I'll do that just now. So I had a look online, and yes, you can get these, and they're actually available from Hornby, believe it or not, and they're cheaper from there than anywhere else as well. So I spoke to Simon and told him, and he's given me the go ahead just to order it, which I've done. So once that arrives, we can get this properly sorted. Meantime, we'll open up the tender, we'll get rid of that capacitor, and we'll see what state the motor's in. Get that off. And you can see the capacitor, as per its instructions, has been soldered direct to the motor. I mean, if that thing actually worked, I think it would be better to try and route those wires to connect them to these two wires there and on the pickup. Still connected to the motor, so it would still do its job, but it doesn't do anything. So I think what we'll do is, where's my snippers? Oh, they're in the layout room. We'll get rid of it and just put this back to how it was originally. Snip that off. That. There we go. Whenever I talk about locomotives stopping on points and crossings and stuff, I often get comments from a few people saying, just for stay alive. I'm not sure if people are, just so wrapped up in DCC that they don't realise that, yeah, stay alives work on DCC, but they don't work on DC to my knowledge. And if there's any electronic boffins out there that could explain why better than I can, please do in the comments, or if anybody out there, any other electronic boffins know how to make it work, if there is such a successful thing, is such a thing as a successful DC stay alive, I would love to know, but I've never been able to find one. And these things are available on eBay, advertised as DC stay alives, but in my experience they don't work, and I don't understand how they could work. But my electronic knowledge is limited. What am I doing here? Right, okay. The old Airfix motor. It's a barrel of laughs. Just snipping these wires off because that's going to be getting replaced. Undo these. That will then come out. So. Up there, that just comes off. The wheels come out. And then we're left with this, which has a ridiculous number of gears in it. Right, so when you take this off, There's a bit of fluff and gunk in here. So those two gears, you see the pinion gear is on the armature. And there are another 3 gears in here. Like so. Lots of fluffage. We shall give this a bit of a scoosh. A bit of a clean up. I'll give these gears a bit of a clean as well. I'll give these a bit of a file. There's a fair bit of flash on them. Just pull this armature out and get a wee look at the brushes and the commutator. Brushes are fine. Commutator's not bad actually. We'll give it a wee clean. It's actually cleaned up fine just with the contact cleaner. Not needing the old T-cut. There's a little nylon washer on that. Need to be careful. There we go. Right, I remember the first time I took one of these apart, I couldn't remember how all these little gears went back. It's a real puzzle. But you've got one that's got a bit of a shaft, a slightly larger hole. That goes over that piece there. And then there's a gear with a smaller hole. That goes there. And then that one then goes on the top of that bit there. Like that. PTFE grease. This is a mixture of PTFE and silicone grease. So it's very plastic friendly. That will then go on the top, like that. And then it goes over that onto there. Don't screw that on too tight. And then I'll get a little bit of oil down in there. Some down in there. Oh, I made a mistake here. You've got to put that gear on before you put that on. It's a wee while since I worked on one of these. And then of course it's all just going to fall apart. Some grease on that. So I've got to get this gear to engage with those gears. Like that. Ah, it's falling apart again. Right. So I need to get that to engage with that, and then that in there, like that. It's better. Fine. That'll go in there. Engages with the wheels when they're installed. We'll give these a bit of a scoosh. There may be plastic wheels with traction tyres, but I would still recommend giving them a clean. Okay, I'll get that back together, and then it's just a case of waiting for the replacement part from Hornby. Interesting to see how long that'll take. So we shall see. Meantime, I'm going to go and get a spot of lunch. Okay, so a few days later, and I've got the replacement part from Hornby. It's a bit weird that they have this part, I think. You know, there's lots of parts that they don't have that they probably should for newer locomotives, but yeah, they stock that. Right, okay, we shall fit it. And then that should be this 2P sorted out. So we'll mount it onto here very carefully, because it'd be very easy to mangle the pickups. gently ease this in. Right, I think we're good at that. Can't get this screw in because of the brake rods. I'll just have to disengage the brake rods temporarily. Screw that in. Get the brake rods back in place. So I now have to get this back together. So what I need to do is get the two halves of the drawbar. Check which way around this drawbar goes. Right, it goes that way. That's fine. So that goes into there. I'll then feed. Oops. Hang on, get the sponge for this, I think. Right. Never understood why that drawbar isn't two halves like that. Why not just have a single thicker one? Right. Get that in there. And probably want to feed that wire. No, I don't. Let's just bung it in. Like so. So now, I want to feed that up through the hole in there. And we'll get this weight in place so the wire goes underneath it. Let's put these wires apart, and then we'll need to figure out which one goes on which terminal. Right, simple way to determine which one goes where is to apply power to the track and see which way it goes and make contact. That's right. Okay, so it goes on just like that. That wire on. Because we got rid of the capacitor, the tender body sits on properly now. Right, we'll get the front bogie on. And this screw was stripped when the model arrived, but a bit of super glue and baking soda has sorted that. Maybe back that off a wee bit. Right there. Right, that should be that. Okay, so just check that the pickups work. It runs off that set of wheels and that set of wheels. There we are. Right, let's go and pull it out the shed. Okay then, let's bring out the 2P. So there we are, that's this old 2P sorted with its new pickups. Not the quietest motors, these air fixturing fields. Too many wee gears grinding away. Some are louder than others, but they all make a bit of a whiny, grindy sound. And they don't pull away very smoothly either. But they will pull a horse, so good to have one in your arsenal. It's why I use my 4F for shunting dead locomotives into the shed sometimes. Yeah, a bit weird that Hornby had that spare part, and it was actually cheaper than anyone else, and it arrived pretty quickly too, so plus points for Hornby there. Yeah, the capacitor fitted as a DC stay alive. It's just a waste of time in my opinion, so I just removed it. It was just interfering with the fitting of the tender body. It's really only suitable for diesels or locomotives with a lot of space in them. But, the fact that this locomotive was stopping because of one single broken pickup demonstrates that it certainly wasn't acting as a stay alive. Any four-wheel pickup configuration should work okay if the track is perfectly level and perfectly clean. Now, I know that's not always the case, but what I've started doing is reducing the plastic frogs and points and crossings by adding a wee bit of copper tape and a wee dab of solder. It's just to maximise the connectivity, and it seems to work pretty well. Right, okay, I shall get this packed up and sent back to Simon and Nathan. And you probably noticed a bit of progress on the layout there. More on that soon. But meantime, catch you later, folks.